Hey friend, welcome to my studio. I think the last time I made this type of video was almost a year and a half ago. Now there's some new additions to the studio since the last time I made a video, and this is what we are going to look at today. And also I'm going to want to talk about some stuff I want to improve, and I'm looking forward to get into this studio in the near future. Okay, first, my panels. I don't know if you noticed, but now I have brand new acoustic panels that I made myself with, of course, the help of my wife, my son-in-law, and some friends. And that was way overdue. It actually took me a long time to make these panels, not because they take a long time to make per se, but because of the busy schedule I have in the studio. But finally, everything is up and running. Now, the only thing that is left for me to do is just to hang them on the walls, but that's it. Everything is there, a bunch of bass straps, even the back panels, they look amazing. They are bass straps and at the same time a bit of diffusion going on, which is very, very cool. Now this is only phase one as far as the acoustic panels goes, because I still have to make myself a cloud to put on top of me. And also I want to fix the back of the room. Now I still have the old bass straps I had in my older studio that are laying down on the walls. And for now I'm just gonna keep everything as is and start with what I have. Next, the computer. A couple of years ago, I put my hands on a laptop, a MacBook Pro. It's an M1 Max MacBook Pro, and 2 years later, I still love it. This is the computer that runs the studio, and it's great. And what I like about having a laptop as my main computer for the studio is that I can, at any time, take the laptop, go upstairs, go on a trip, and bring my work with me, which is great. So it's very flexible, and it's so powerful. It's a powerful computer, and again, 2 years later, I still love it. So I keep the laptop behind this rack. Nothing fancy. It sits on a stool and that's it. And connected to the laptop is the CalDigit Thunderbolt Station 4. It's a hub, okay, where I connect all of my devices. So that one is not cheap, okay? It's not a cheap device, but it's totally worth it. So this is connected to my MacBook Pro. Now, if we look at what I have on my desk, first, I have this little laptop stand, okay, that is right on my the right side of my desk, and I use this guy to put some stuff, some devices that I want to test, to review or to make a video on, like this one right here, the Heritage Audio, the i73 sound interface. I'm actually working on the video for this one. It's a great audio interface, so more on that later. And then I have my Odyssey's MM500 headphones, and I'm going to show you all the other headphones that I also work with. So these are one of my my favorite mixing headphones, with the Head 2, which is on the headphone rack that I'm going to show you later. So those two pairs of headphones I use a lot when mixing and mastering, so they sound amazing. The Arc Studio, I made a video on this one also. This is the room correction unit made by IK Multimedia, and I love the fact that it's an external box. I can deactivate the room correction, activate it, do whatever I want, so I kind of like this system a lot. Then the Heritage Audio RAM 1000, which controls my studio monitors, and this is my main, volume knob, mute, mono, dim, all that stuff. The cool thing is I can connect more than one set of studio monitors, and I can also connect my phone straight using Bluetooth on this device. This trackball mouse by Kensington is awesome. I made a video on this one a while back. I still use it. I love it. It's just great. My computer keyboard is pretty simple. It's made by Logi, works well. And then this is new on this desk. This is the Softube Console 1. So I have the console version and the fader version that came out like a month ago or so. Well integrated in Cubase, which is great. And so far, I still love working with with the Console 1. It has its flaws, but honestly, with its integration with Cubase, it's hard to beat. Next, the Stream Deck. Love working with the Stream Deck. I actually have the small version, but I'm actually looking on putting my hands on the large version of the Stream Deck. It's like so packed, you know, on several pages. So I'm kind of getting tired of switching pages all the time, you know. So yeah, so that will come in the future. Now my wife is filming the video and she's like, okay, now you're talking about buying this and buying that. And it's like, the bill is gonna start to, I see her face, you know, now she can't say anything because she's filming. So that's great. But, okay, the Monogram CC, okay. I also made a video on this one years ago. I use it all the time. I love this orbit wheel, they call it, which is great. It replaces my my mouse wheel. These little buttons are assigned to commands in Cubase, and also when I use my computer, you know, like when I use my browser, I have a bunch of commands all set up into the Monogram CC. Now, the best thing I have on my desk so far, I'm telling you, I'm not lying, this is the best. This guy. That is the coffee mug warmer. Okay, so the minute I put my mug on, it starts warming up my coffee, which is great, okay? So I love it, just love it. Okay, if we look at some of my video equipment, you know, let's face it, this is a recording studio / a mixing and mastering studio / a video production studio. So all of the above. So I have some lights all over the place. I have my main camera, which is the Sony A7C, the first generation. It works awesome. And I have attached to it a 20mm G lens, which looks amazing. So this is my main camera. And the stand that it's on is just a microphone stand. That's it. You know, that I have right in front of the desk. It does the job, so, you know, I'm keeping it. Now on my left, I have the main light, my main key light, and the big stand, you know, that holds that light. And on top of that, I have the extra arm with a, you know, the part of a microphone stand to put my microphone, the main microphone I use to make my videos, which is the Austrian Audio CC8. And that is the microphone I use every time I make a video. I also have a second microphone when I'm on a live stream, which is the Lewitt 640TS. Great microphone. What I like about this one is the pop filter. I don't have to add an extra pop filter. I just put this one on and that's it. So that one sounds great also. Again, I use it when I do my live streams or when I jump on a call. Great microphone, and of course I use it when recording vocals. You know, it has a very nice sound and it's part of my microphone collection. Then I have this little Akai controller, you know, that I can bring along with me when I'm on the road. I also use the Keylab 61 by Arturia as my main MIDI controller. Okay, next let's look at this guy right here, which is another stand to hold my second camera. This is a Sony EVZ10. It's a cheaper camera, works well. I have extra lens also for this one, and I use it as my second camera. So if you see two different shots in my videos, you know, the second one comes from this camera. And the cool thing about this stand that I built is I can move it around, you know. So it's hooked up with this light, and I just move it around the studio when I need it. It's a very useful camera and light stand when I make videos, especially if I want to move around and film at different angles. I'm gonna use my phone to film this part because this is the camera we are using to film today's video, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's a high quality portable camera, very, very useful for B-rolls and even like we're doing now to film a full video with. I'm actually going to bring this camera to my next trip to NAMM since it's so portable and the image quality is just great. Okay, now let's talk about this very cool ergonomic chair. And this is by Flexispot, who is also sponsoring this video. Okay, now Flexispot got in touch with me a while back, and the timing was just right because I was shopping around to buy myself a new chair. And the reason is very simple. I always have lower back problems when sitting for hours in front of my computer. So I was looking for a ergonomic chair that could actually solve this problem. So I decided to give it a shot. They sent me the chair, and honestly, I was blown away. And especially because of its lumbar support, which is just amazing. And that supports my back so well, it's like I'm having a massage every time I sit down in front of my computer, which is great. I can also readjust the lumbar support with this little handle on the side, on top of everything else that I can tweak around, like the armrest. The headrest also can be adjusted. The depth of the seat. I can bring the chair higher or lower. If I want to relax, there you go. And oh man, this position is actually quite comfortable, I have to say. And the cool thing is that the chair itself is actually pretty large, and that adds to the comfort of the chair, as far as I'm concerned anyways. Now on my side, I put my hands on the mesh option, which is very comfortable. And on top of that, it has oversampling. Okay, so when I mix music, there's no aliasing going on sitting on that chair. Okay, that was a joke. But the good news is that Flexispot is having a Black Friday sale at the moment, where you can get a very good discount on this C7 office chair. And if you add this following code that you see down below, you will get an extra $50 off, which is awesome. So check it out, the link is down below. Now let's go back at the front of the studio where I have my studio monitors. My studio monitors are the Kali Audio IN8 Mark II, the second generation. 3-way system, sounds great, know them pretty well. I've been working with these for several years now. I still have a pair of Focal's Solo 6B where I have one of the drivers out of one of the speakers that is damaged. They sent me a new driver, but I just didn't have time to send it over for repair, so they're still in their box, but I'm planning on having them repaired and back in front of me with in pair with the Kalis like I had before. Now the exciting part, the rack, the gear rack. Okay, the first on top. I made a video on this one a few months ago, the Channel 1 Mark III. By SPL. This is a full channel strip. Honestly, it's great. I love it. I actually use it when I film my videos, funny enough. It's for sure overkill for my videos, but it's there, I use it. And the cool thing is I don't have a lot to do afterwards, since I process everything on the way in. So it has an awesome preamp, very clean, some tube saturation, that I don't use when I film videos, but I do use the de-esser. It's a dual stage de-esser that is just amazing. And that is very practical, especially when recording vocals or when I record videos. There's a compressor also. There's a transient designer that I don't use in my case when I film my videos, but I do use the compressor, and I also use the 3-band EQ. So this is a great channel strip. And the cool thing is I have 2 inputs. I can only use them one at a time. So on channel A, I have my Austrian audio microphone when I film my videos. And on channel B, I have the Lewitt 640TS already plugged in. And I only have one tweak to do when I switch from one to the other, and that's it, So that is a good addition to the studio. I also have the Warm Audio, the WA2MPX, which is a dual preamp. It also has some saturation going on, tape emulation, all that stuff, Sounds great. I'm gonna link the video down below that I made last year. Another channel strip made by Tegler Audio. Sounds great also. It has EQ, good sounding preamp, and also a compressor, like 2 different styles of compression actually, so very, very useful. And a patch bay. As you can see, it's like kind of a mess right now, but this is I have like 2 patch bays from Samsung. I also made a video on this one. The Stam Audio 1176. I love this one just because of the kind of extra bite it has. When you pull the output, it goes to the tube circuit, where you can add a bit of saturation also when you drive it, which is great. Right on top is my Tegler cam, which is my main two-bus compressor. And it has also an EQ, a kind of a Pultec type EQ. Sounds great. I use it all the time when I mix. The EQ P1A by Stam Audio, a replica of the Pultec EQ. Right below this one is the Drummer 1960. I actually bought this one back in 2004 or something. This is my first external preamp / compressor that I purchased, and I bought it on eBay. I remember back then. I love it. I still use it. It sounds great. It has a bunch of tubes, and it's a dual compressor at the same time. And of course a preamp. And it has a very nice DI integrated, and that input sounds great on bass. Then I have 4 Vintech Audio 473 preamps that are Neve types preamps, and I have 8 PreSonus M80 preamps that I don't use anymore. I'm actually planning on selling this. Now when it comes to my main audio interface, I'm using the Steinberg AXR4, the Thunderbolt version. It's great. It has served me well for, I think, 4 years now or so. It's a great interface, fully integrated with Cubase. I still use it, still love it. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm going to keep it. Maybe I'm going to change. This is part of my brainstorming on what is going to come next. I'm using more and more outboard gear, and I'm starting to need a bit more outputs and inputs to manage all the gear I have. But it's a great interface. Above it is my Lynx Aurora 16. These are converters that are hooked up to the AXR4. So this is the conversion I use for most of my my analog gear when I mix music. Okay, let's go back towards the desk because I forgot a few things. First, I'm using a subwoofer also with my speakers that is made by Dyne Audio. It's the BM9S. I've been using this one for years, and it's right underneath my desk. Now I have 2 monitors for my computer. The main one is by BenQ. It's a BenQ monitor. It's a 32-inch monitor, and the second one is my old Samsung 27-inch monitor that is right below the big one. And they are sitting down on a TV stand that I purchased on Amazon years ago. So this is my current setup. Now this is probably going to be part of my next upgrade for the studio. I am tempted to get rid of that stuff and maybe only use one big monitor and maybe an iPad as a second monitor. I'll see. But for sure, I want to get rid of this cheap desk. It's an ugly desk. It's made by a company called IKEA. The only thing special I made with this desk is I installed some stand-up type of legs on the desk that I can just use and work standing up, you know, if I need to, which is always fun to do so. So this is basically why I'm still keeping the desk. But honestly, yeah, I'm overdue for a new desk. So I'm just debating on if I should build the desk or maybe I should just buy a studio type of desk. So this is part of my brainstorming process. So we'll see what I'm going to end up with. And now my wife is still looking at me with a very funny face. If we look at the back of the studio, my drums are still there. Right now it's the practice setup with some practice type of drum heads, which are quiet heads. Okay, so they work pretty well for that purpose. When it's time to record, I replace the cymbals, put the real loud cymbals with some drum heads, regular drum heads, and start recording. So this is the setup I have right now. So I kind of like having that drum kit inside my main recording room. So this is what I'm saying. It's a multi-purpose studio. I also have a Lakeland bass, sounds great, and also a Epiphone Les Paul type of guitar that I never use because I do not play guitar. You know, I do some basic chords, but that's pretty much it. But it does look pretty good, so that's why I keep it. If we go outside the main room, I have this, I don't even know how to call this area, but this is where I'm going to store all of my microphones in this little shelf. And you know, from my JZ microphones to my Austrian audio mics, my Roswell Pro audio, all those different mics, everything is right here. A bunch of other stuff in this bookshelf. And look at this very cheap looking fire, which is totally fake, but it does look pretty good, okay? So that's why I keep it here. That stores a bunch of hard drives, like a lot of drives. This is where I store them. And as you can see, I have some new units that I need to test, evaluate, and maybe make a video on, like the two new 1176s by Warm Audio. And these I'm gonna make a video on that is gonna be published very, very soon. Okay, so they are the stereo version or dual mono version of these two 1176s, the revision A and revision D. So these are pretty cool. On top, the original Micro Freak by Arturia, very nice synth. And this old guy, the Roland Space Echo, the RE101. Now, it's unfortunate that it's outside the studio, and same for the Warm Audio units, but this is only temporary because, you know, follow me. As you can see, my rack is full. So this is another thing I need to add in the studio. Maybe a second rack mount unit. Or I don't know, maybe maybe if I buy a real studio desk, I'll have some space to add some units on, and I'll be able to bring back my Space Echo in the studio. Again, like you can see, I'm way overdue to do something about this problem. Last and not least, my collection of headphones. I love headphones, as you probably know by now. And on top of the MM500 that are on my desk, this is the other headphone that I love to mix and master with. And these are the Head 2, which are amazing, honestly. Not cheap, but very good. And these are the HD490 Pro. Very good headphones, not very expensive, but they sound pretty good. Again, I made a full video a year ago on most of the headphones you see here, so I'm gonna link the video below. When it comes to storage, backups, drives, what I use are SSD drives to work with. Okay, so when I record, mix and stuff, video editing, it's all using my SSD drives. When it comes to backups, which is super important, I use Backblaze, which is a remote cloud-based backup system. All of my drives are backed on Backblaze, all the work I do, my computer, everything. And on top of that, I also have a Synology NAS system, which is my own personal cloud, basically, that I have in my storage room. And the NAS system itself is like a small computer, basically, where there's a bunch of hard drives. I think I have like, I don't know, maybe 35, 40 terabytes of storage, which is great. It's a great system. So this is a second layer of backups, and it's also very useful to do some collaboration work. So for example, I have a shared folder on one of my video editing drives, which is shared with my daughter through my Synology NAS. And my daughter is, of course, she's not working from here, she's working from her place. So when I'm done filming my videos, I just drop all my video files straight in that shared folder, and that goes directly on her hard drive from her computer, straight from her place. She does the video editing, I can reopen the session from my end, tweak a few things, you know, so the way we collaborate using the NAS is just fantastic. It's not cheap, but it's a great system for my business. So there you go, my friend. This is my home studio. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or even recommendations on what I should add next to the studio. Until next time, take care and see you.